We've got the first, we got about 10 seconds to go, counting down to the market open. The indication is it's going to be a flat one. 25,600, 57,700 on the Nifty and the Nifty Bank respectively, and nothing very much on the small cap index so far. 11 points, 20 points. Sensex is starting as well, about 100 points, is it? 83,600 plus on the Sensex and 25,630 on the Nifty. So it's kind of flattish, slightly positive bias. Bank Nifty is up about 0.1. Small cap index is flat to slightly lower, higher. Nothing very much going on at all. The Nifty heat map gives you a quick sense of how we are stacked up on the Nifty. And then we'll look at individual stocks. Lots of earnings reactions to track. So we'll get down straight to it. On the one end, there is Asian Paints and Indigo. On the other end, there is Hindalco and Grasim. It's about 30 up and 20 down within the first 30 seconds. The market opened 57 odd points in the green, 25,645. Surabhi.
Okay, let's take a look at, Hindalco right away. This is what Nigel was alerting us on. That forget the numbers. More important is the kind of money that they're putting to work. And those estimates have gone up in a big, big way. 5% gone from Hindalco on their capex issues with Novelis. There's Grasim that's also opened lower, 3.5% down. Eternal is down about 1.5%. There's Shriram Finance, which is down about 1%. But now let's see what's bringing up the positive side. Asian Paints, 4% higher. The executive changes at Birla Opus, that seems to be actually working well for Asian Paints. Is the market sensing lesser competitive intensity now? 4% up on that stock. Interglobe Aviation, the market has looked through the bottom line issues. The operational performance was pretty steady, as Sudarshan was telling us, and that's what the market is going with, 2.5% up. M&M is 1.5% higher. Reliance is contributing 1% higher. Sun Pharma after numbers up about 1%. SBI, L&T, Infosys, ITC, TCS, a lot of the big boys all chipping in between 0.5% to about 1%, which means the Nifty is looking at a tidy 50-point gain at the start.
Well, just take a look at these stocks. Hindalco, it's getting smashed down close to around 6% or thereabouts. The street doesn't like, you set out a capex of around $2.5 billion and then it goes to $5 billion in a matter of 3 years. She doesn't like it at all. Yes, it's going to be a very, very profitable on an EBITDA per ton front. But otherwise, when your cost goes up so much, the pre-tax ROC only comes down to 6%. So why are you doing it? That seems to be the reasoning out there. Stocks, though, that are flying away. Let's focus on a few of them. From the broader markets first, Gujarat Pipavav. Good set of numbers. That stock is up 7.5%. Reddington, we'll have the management will be joining in shortly. That one, in fact, is up close to around 7.5%. RBL Bank, sometimes the streets wait spy for some of these large trades to get out of the way, and then it resumes its uptrend. So RBL Bank, after that block trade getting out of the way, which in all probability could very well be the Mahindra Group, it's again, continued its upward trajectory. On the flip side, Ather Energy, stock is down 12%. Volumes are massive. I'm not sure whether or not there was a large trade that took place on Ather Energy. Volumes are very, very large. 10% downtick is what you're seeing on Ather. Utkarsh SFB, that stock is down 7.5%. And Delivery, there was some pre-positioning ahead of its numbers. The street seems to have got it wrong out there because the stock is now down close to around 6.5%. As we speak, big downtick.
Delivery seen a block, but even Ather. So there are some large trades that have happened in the block window on both Ather and on Delivery, which could explain the sudden pressure on some of these counters. We'll see if they stabilize as we go from here. By the way, on the earnings reactions, let's just pull up the good earnings as well. Blue Star, 100 basis points margin expansion. Paytm has done pretty well. Gaurav was telling us contribution margins quite steady. They've been kind of building up. So 3.5% up over here. Apollo Microsystems, Metropolis Health. So some of these results, good results getting rewarded. Allied Blenders, we spoke to the management, still down about 2% on that stock. But yeah, I think the stock of the morning, Nigel, really is Hindalco, still down 6%.
Well, that's right, Surabhi. Those numbers are not very, the numbers were okay, but the street would have digested that. The problem is there was a fire as the Oswego unit in September. The negative impact will flow through in the second half of the year. And yet there's a counter argument that 70 to 80% is insured. So you'll get that money back in FY27. The problem is the capex. It's gone up too high. And that's what will keep the balance sheet, under stress. And that's why the stock is down 5.5%. Remember, it's very, very difficult to time these metal names, right? Because you got the trade right. You're tracking aluminium prices. You were saying that the Midwest premiums have moved up. It'll offset any kind of negative impact of tariffs. And woo, out of nowhere, capex goes up to such a large extent, and that's why the stock is getting knocked back.